I love the fact that they've added these guys, especially a guy like DJ Moore, because since Stephon Diggs has left the Buffalo Bills, it's been this everybody eats mantra and spreading the football around, and it's gotten them to where it's gotten them, but it hasn't been good enough. And you heard Deion Dawkins said it's time to stop talking about it and actually do it. A guy like DJ Moore can line on the outside and be able to win, and he's good with the ball in his hands. You look at some of his numbers. Last year was the lowest numbers he's had since his rookie year, but it also comes with a lower number of targets. If they can find a way to get the football to him, that's also going to help a guy like Skylar Bell, who's also a really good receiver when he has the football, similar to Khalil Shakir. So getting a big physical guy on the outside, because Keon Coleman hasn't worked so far, they need somebody versus man-to-man in a gotta-have-it situation. You can go out there and win, and Josh Allen can trust that guy and throw him the football.
Yeah, how much pressure?
I'm with you on that, J-Mac. I think the defense is going to be improved this year. I love Dylan Thieneman, the addition of him in the back end. I think Austin Booker takes a big step this year and really becomes a threat off the end. He had a great down the stretch run last year on that defense. But to your point, we're here for the offense. That's what you want when you have Ben Johnson. The offensive line looked much better last year. And you could almost see Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson when they started to click kind of midpoint last season. And even from a Caleb Williams perspective, you could see him get more comfortable with the balance of going off script and staying within structure. Love what you said about Luther Burden III, because I think he is going to be the breakout wide receiver of the 2026 NFL season. When you watch him last year, and he really wasn't like a true point of the offense until midway point to later, but this is on 60 targets. He had 47 receptions. He almost led the team, even in a minimal amount of offensive targets and snaps. And again, not coming on until late in the season. He does it in yards after catch. He does it in contested catches. He runs great routes. He does it intermediate. He's down the field. I think he's going to turn into a true number one. And this offense is going to take even another big leap, to your point, in year two with Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams.
Bears fans love to hear that. How are the Patriots feeling about their new wide receiver group?
Well, look, this is exactly what the New England Patriots wanted, and it's exactly what A.J. Brown wanted. He wanted a change of scenery. He wanted to play again with Mike Vrabel. He got what he was hoping for. And the Patriots are hoping for another big play, wide receiver to mix in there after moving on this offseason from Stephon Diggs. And not only do they go out and trade for A.J. Brown, but they also signed Romeo Doubs, the former Green Bay Packers wide receiver, at the outset of free agency. So that is two big playmaking wide receivers that are new in New England that the Patriots believe will provide some extra firepower for Drake May, who, as long as he's playing quarterback, that team always is going to have a chance to make a real playoff run.
Yeah, the Patriots.
Aaron Donald has always, anybody who knows the history of him, he's always prepared for seasons with his trainer. For 2 or 3 years, we did not see him with his trainer. There was a video put out of him with his trainer.
That's it. That's it.
I know nothing else.
Right.
All speculation.
So the fact that I was not working out with a trainer since the combine, but started about a month ago, means I'm getting ready for the season, is what you're saying, Joe.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I just equated myself to Aaron Donald.
Yeah, of course. Good job. Oh, as you should.
Okay.
Do you see that running form behind me?
Yeah, look at that right there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Come on now.
Exactly. And just like an Aaron Donald workout, I vomited after that run. I'm with you. I think he's doing it. Well, all right, last one for you. Does he do it from jump? Like we're going to see him train camp? Your best guess. Like he's going to do it from jump, or he's going to join week 4, week 5, ramp up this, ramp up that, join the middle of the season, or he's just going to go right from jump and be part of him. What do you think?
Aaron Donald doesn't half do anything. He doesn't half step. That's why he's doing it at the pace he's doing it. Mm-hmm. But if I had to guess, we'll see him before week 1 kickoff.
Okay.
Will he play as much? No. But will he be assigned Los Angeles Ram? If I had to guess, when he comes back, if he comes back, it'll be before week 1.
Be very patient with Malik Neighbors. And I believe Isaiah Likely could be a huge reason why you can be patient. When you think about the way he was paired with Mark Andrews in Baltimore, he was the guy that gave you the explosive play that could stretch you down the seam. And now with Jackson Dart, to give him an outlet that's closer to the line of scrimmage, closer to the tackle box, I believe Matt Nagy understands how to utilize a tight end, and he could have a young Travis Kelce effect for this New York Giants offense. I believe he is just waiting to be unleashed. And you had Theo Johnson to that, who was already in New York, who we've seen make some athletic plays on the outside, but it could also be an inline blocking tight end, along with the 21 personnel Mina mentioned. We could see some of that 12 and then also incorporating Patrick Ricard so we could get those big packages along with Cam Scatterboo that were huge in Baltimore.
I think a lot of fans are like, all right, well, Mekhi Lemon's just going to slot into the A.J. Brown spot and take all of his reps this season. Is it that simple?
No, I think Devontae Smith takes more of the A.J. Brown usage in terms of becoming more of a threat on the perimeter. But Mekhi Lemon to me is really important because he fills a lot of the gaps that were pretty noticeable last year in the Eagles offense and have been for a while, specifically quick completions against zone coverage and yards after the catch. Last season, on throws under 10 yards, the Eagles averaged 3.3 yards after the catch per reception. That was 31st of 32 teams. And to me, that's where Lemon comes in, first of all, making himself a very quarterback-friendly target very quickly, and then almost turning into a running back with the football in his hands because of his strength and vision. And I know that doesn't sound super sexy to, fantasy managers or people who think about A.J. Brown, but it is so important, Ryan, you know this, to keeping that offense running on time and making it more efficient. So I see him filling a pivotal role for Philadelphia.
We've talked about the upside of this pairing, but as I teased, you got some concerns. So what are they?
Yeah, it's the concern of the fit. Ben's point is well taken. KOC has been a little more flexible than maybe I'm giving him credit for here, but what I do feel pretty confident in is that they want to be an under-center offense. They've been under center 47% of the time under Kevin O'Connell. Kyler Murray in Arizona, not under center very often, only about 5% of the time under center. And so that's kind of by design because Kyler isn't the biggest dude. Like, he has been operating out of shotgun, out of the pistol, going back to his time as college. You can see the field more, easier to get him involved in the quarterback run game. That's what's worked for him. And so they're going to have to find a balance, whether that means more pistol, whether it means moving Kyler out of the pocket more often. They're going to have to find a way to make this work because I don't think Kyler Murray can just kind of drop into the same offense they've run in years past and succeed. Ben's point about them having to evolve the offense isn't just a plus. It's essential to make this offense work this season.
And that's why the quarterback competition of it all is interesting because you want to let it look like a competition, but also Murray doesn't have that background at under center. And so every training camp that you are splitting first team reps with J.J. McCarthy are reps you're taking away from Kyler to get accustomed to a kind of new offense. And so it's going to be a daily check-in for Kevin O'Connell. How are we going to distribute these reps?
How do you handle the pressure?
I think it's the difficult part about this, Laura, because it's almost like the regular season becomes a formality. You look at some of these teams, well, it was, been the Ravens in years past where they win 12 or 14 games. No one cares. Inside the organization, fan base, around the league, it's like, yeah, that's great. But what about the postseason? Because that's been the problem. I think that's exactly where the Bills are right now. And I think it's a scary place to be because when you get into the postseason, now all of a sudden the magnitude, basically all of the pressure gets pushed to right then. And so, I mentioned it with the Ravens. I was with the Eagles in the early 2000s, and it was like, hey, they'd been to the NFC Championship game, I think three or four times in the prior seasons and couldn't beat the Rams. And it was like, you know what? Let's just get the game at the Vet rather than have to go play the greatest show on turf in St. Louis. Well, so the regular season was just like, you just were waiting for the postseason to come. Well, sure enough, home field advantage at the Vet, ended up playing Tampa. I can just tell you that the pressure that felt like it was on that team because it was like nothing really up until that point mattered because this was the hump that they had to get over. It just, it changes things. And I would just say for the Bills, what's scary about that is you're doing it with now a first-year head coach, which, I think is a pretty tall task.
How do you see Jadarian Price being utilized, Ben, in this Seattle offense?
On all three downs, right? I mean, this coaching staff has spoken a lot about, all right, George Halani is going to be our third down back. It's going to be a timeshare. It doesn't pass the sniff test to me. First-round running back is a first-round running back. You want to get that guy the football. And now Price is an interesting cat because in college he was splitting time with Jeremiah Love. And so in his last two seasons at Notre Dame, he never averaged more than 10 touches per game. It's a warranted question, what can this guy be with a full menu of touches? At the same time, though, he wasn't like a scat back. He wasn't like only passing downs. They would use him on 1st and 10 in pass protection. He has all the skills. We just haven't seen it at volume. Now, the Seahawks were not a good running team last year, and they're expecting a first-round rookie running back to step in and at least contribute as a ball carrier, if not be the primary guy. So very high expectations for a guy who we think can do it as a three-down back, but we haven't seen it yet.